Good morning, everyone. Gina's here. Woke up a little while ago. I'm still in my PJ actually. But there are certain things happened the last couple of days, and in my mind, I was processing, and I want to bring this message in a way that everybody could understand, and then everybody could maybe resonate and receive a certain part of this awareness understanding in our daily life. And I made a video probably 11 minutes. The message is so intertwined and I feel so complicated. Maybe my ego stepped in, said that that's not good enough. So I don't know whether I'm gonna release that, maybe gonna release in a little bit, but I know sometimes the things I feel very uncomfortable, maybe that's something needed to be released. But I try to make another video on a different perspective to explain what's going on in a life in a more objective way, I would say. So everybody talking about ego, right? Everybody, you can also tell me what's your understanding about the ego. And people talk about ego death, people talk about my ego this, ego that. So I think I want to kind of like give ego a voice, I want to honor both sides, because a lot of things in our life, actually everything in our life is priority. Depends on which side you are stepping more on this side or more on that side. And ego also, there's nothing completely bad and nothing completely good. Even with love, you say more love, like love is itself doesn't have good or bad. It's how we use the name of love, if that makes sense. Now the ego, the same thing. I want to give ego a voice today. Actually, maybe the title is I give ego a voice. Ego has a voice. So a lot of time, I like to use example to explain things. So ego to me is like your bodyguard. He is a very, very loyal bodyguard, and almost loyal to the point is a little bit like obsessed. His main goal is protect you no matter what, especially some scenario that he thought he could do a better job but he didn't, and next time similar things happens, oh my goodness, your ego will jump right in front of you. You almost like feel like a celebrity, right? But your bodyguard won't let anything harm new to you. Any words people say to you, he will kind of block it. Anybody throw something, come in, like even people throw bullets, throw eggs, whatever, throw eggs, anything that he feels threatened, he is already on the duty, okay? But everything when it's chill, he's also chill. It depends on the scenario. So literally, ego to me is this lawyer, like bodyguard. But this bodyguard is working so hard to protect you through his assessment of the danger level, right? Level number 1, level number 2, number 5, number 10. And how he builds this emergency, the danger level is based on your past experience, based on your childhood trauma, later to the teen, all the years you experience. Let's say you are 35 years old, right? Your ego, don't you feel when you grow older, even though to a certain point your heart gets smaller, you're closer more and more and more and more, until one day you almost cannot live and you're like, well, let me figure out. So but that was the scenario I'm going to talk about in different video or different scenario. But I'm talking about your ego, how he set those level is based on your past experience, okay? So your ego might, to a certain point of your life, you almost feel like everything could trigger you. People's words, people's action, people's movement, their religion beliefs, even your kids later, will trigger you too. So because your ego is so upfront, the healing won't be able to happen. So the good part, your ego is protect you. The other side part is ego also prevents you to bring healing into your life. Now, when I talk about healing, I'm not talking about you're broken. I'm talking about healing is the healing you bring your inner peace. You bring this love, this balance, this understanding into your life, for understanding all the experience you had into your life. Those are the healing. That's the healing work I do, basically, to work on your inner child healing, trauma healing, belief system healing, to bring more inner peace, peace into your life. However, when healing happens, sometimes you go inward, right? If my ego is very defensive, whatever thing, things happen, one way is I can go sit in with myself. You have tools to go reconnect with the inner child or different version of you that you brave enough to do that. But when your ego is very present, there are two ways, okay, for healing. One is internal, one is external things happen, remind you that healing, through external events to help you to healing. So one way is you go actively seeking inside. One way is the external things happen for you, then you will bring things inward again. But anyway, you need to bring things inward to reconnect that feeling. But because if the ego is so present to want to protect you, you probably won't even be able to. Don't you feel that certain time you're like, when you are sitting by yourself and something external happened, remind you, but you almost paralyzed that you don't even have the capability to revisit a certain situation. When I say that, it happened to me many, many times during my healing journey, because sometimes you almost feel certain things happen in the past. You might hold anger, resentment, guilt, and shame towards yourself. So those are not happy feelings. So when it's not happy feelings, you almost don't want to think about that. Even those things brought up externally, what happened? We might use the alcohol, use substance, with maybe purchase things for ourselves to move the energy, because energy, you cannot destroy it. So if I cannot face what I need to face in the past, which is memory come up, if I don't want to face it, how you redirect this energy? So the energy need to go somewhere. So we are very good at to redirect the energy to a different way, right? In this case. So ego want to protect you, but also ego also prevent you for those healing to be done. So how to? Then you're going to ask me, so yes, Gina, it makes sense. I understand what you're saying. I've been doing that for quite a while, and just every time, you're aware that the bodyguard is very upfront, whatever thing. So how can you work with your ego? How can you even bring the healing to your life if your bodyguard is very present with you and won't let you allow you to, right? Because that's what's the ego's job. But we're not gonna take his job away, because if you take his job away, you probably might gonna get into some danger place that you don't want to get to. So he's doing his job, but now how to work with your ego? But basically, when these things happen, you want to let your ego know that, yeah, thank you for protecting me in the past, but now I know where this come from, because you did another healing work. That's where the healing work is gonna go. You need to willing to do the healing work, then you can actually step by step to work with your ego to lower his danger level or emergency level, so he doesn't get fight, flight, this kind of freeze or type of this reaction more, because it's a constant work to work with ego. So long story short, or kind of try to summarize, is when your ego is actively get triggered, don't feel safe, it's the first thing is we want to practice. That's what we were talking about. You're going to have awareness and have practice with your ego. Let the ego know that you are in control, and he doesn't have to have the emergency level from 10. You make it actually lower to 5. And another time, if things happen, you can lower that to 3, because you are your true self, which means your higher self, is more taking more control of your life, or give you more guidance. So your ego will be more gentle, but doesn't mean you don't have ego. You would need to have ego to make any decisions in your life. because otherwise you would not even move forward to make a decision to go anywhere, because doesn't really matters. It is you go to meeting or not. On the other level, it doesn't really matter, but your ego makes sure that you actually show up on time. So ego is not bad, but ego sometimes is, take too much control of your life, that we need to kind of work with ego to make him or her feel safe. So he will make sure your gate, if you feel safer, you feel more open, then the more healing, more love can come in. But before, because what we experience in life, the ego is protect more, because the more protection is, which means you have less freedom, or you have less free will. So when we work with ego, you have more free will and freedom. Then you can working on those past scenario to bring the healing back to. And when you bring more healing into, your ego will feel safe, and we are readjust the balance of knowing that your ego is always with you, but also the ego also feels safe when you do certain things, because you prove to him that you feel safe. When you prove them is when actually you are more of sovereignty, you have more sovereignty. You actually, your higher self, the energy will more coming through with, bring more unity, take more ownership and responsibility. So you can balance it, right? Before the ego is fully in control, doesn't trust that victim mentality. So you lower that, take more ownership, feel safe, have more love, then you will bring more healing, bring more peace into your life. Hope that helps. Thank you.